Hey everybody, I had a lot of questions on my little file folio that I made from the packaging. Graphic 45 no longer prints those little templates on the inside of the paper packs, but if you have an older paper pack, you might be able to find the little file folder I used. And if you don't have an older paper pack, you could cut a piece of cardstock at 8 3/4 by 6 1/4. You're going to score it on the 8 3/4 side at 4 3/8. And it would pretty much be the same. You just wouldn't have the little tabs, but same size, probably get the same effect. All right, to make this little thing, you're going to cut 2 pockets. My pockets are 4 by 8 piece of cardstock, and I scored on the 4-inch side at 1/2 inch, and then I scored on the 8-inch side at 1/2 inch, 4 inches, and 7 1/2, and I cut the bottoms. And I folded in these 2 hinges and glued them down and left this hinge flapping. And I cut 2 of these pockets. So that would be my little pocket right here. For my ephemera cards, which is this one, I cut a hinge to fit my little card. And I glued the hinge to the top of my card and I inked it, leaving the back hinge part open. And then I set it aside to let it dry. And I grabbed a piece of pattern paper, which is going to be this sheet here. And I cut it down to 4 1/4 by 6 1/8. And I scored on the 4 1/4 side at 1/2 inch. And I did clip my corners. So that would go right here. Here's my second pocket. This is also an ephemera card right here. And for my larger ephemera cards, I cut another hinge. And I glued it onto the front. Of course, it was the same length. So that will create a hinge here. Then I cut a base piece of pattern paper for just this half of my folio. And then I glued the hinge on my ephemera card on the back. Then I glued the pocket on, the hinge on the back. Then I glued this hinge on the back of my base pattern paper and my other pocket. Then I grabbed my ephemera card with the hinge and I glued it on the back of the base paper. Then I applied glue to my whole base and glued it down. So as you can see, all my hinges are hidden behind that base paper. Like that. Okay, for this side, I created another hinged ephemera card. And this one is a hinged ephemera card. Both of these are hinged ephemera cards. On this page, I cut a piece of pattern paper at 3 3/4 by 6 1/8, and I scored on the 3 3/4 side at 3 1/4, and I clipped the corners. Then for my pocket, I cut a piece of pattern paper at 7 1/4 by 2 3/4, And I scored on the 7 1/4 side at 1/2 inch and 6 1/2. And you actually don't need this little hinge here. This was just a little template I'd made. So you should actually cut this where you were supposed to score it. So your piece should be 2 1/4. So it should be 2 1/4. So 7 1/4 by 2 1/4. Then you're only going to score on the 7 1/4 side at 1/2 inch and 6 1/2 to create little hinges. So then you're going to take this pattern paper right here and you're going to glue it on the back of your pocket. And if you want a little half of a hole, you should probably punch it now before you glue it down. That makes it much easier. And then for my ephemera cards, which are on this page, they're glued onto the back, but I used a piece of a decorative strip to cover this hinge and a sticker to cover this hinge so you don't see them. So you would put your ephemera card or whatever decoration you're using, and then you just hinge it on, and where the hinge shows, you could just cover it up with a decorative strip. Then you're going to take this page, you're going to glue the hinge on the back of the pocket, leaving it open right here. So you're only going to glue it to the flaps. Then, whoops, you're going to cut a base paper, like the green here. And that's going to go on this side. You're going to take your 2 other ephemera cards that you picked to use in your project. You're going to put hinges on them. And just like the other side, you want to glue your hinge to the back side of your base paper. So mine's the green base paper, because that's going to create it to open. So you want to glue down both of your hinges for your ephemera cards on the back of the base. Then you want to glue your base down. Then you want to apply glue to your little pocket hinges and the page flap hinge. And then you want to glue it down. And then you can finish decorating with stickers and anything else you want to add. But as you can see, my hinges are hidden on this side also under my base page. And this hinge on this pattern paper is under the pocket. So that is how I made my little file folio. I hope that helps some of you guys. Thanks for watching.